Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to make a video about something that I'm pretty passionate about, and it is nursing home nursing considered to be real nursing? Um, and this is something I'm pretty passionate about because for the last 6 years, that's where I worked, in a nursing home, and there's a lot of stigma that goes for nurses who are not working in a hospital. So I wanted to talk about that and why that is. So when I was in nursing school, I'll go back even further. Even before nursing school, when I thought of being a nurse, kind of the image that I saw in my mind was normally what you see on TV. You see the hospital, you see nurses in the hospital, and they've got victims bleeding everywhere, and it's a lot of commotion, it's a lot of drama, it's high-paced energy, so that is what I thought of nursing. And then once I got into nursing school, I started to learn, and I understood that nurses are everywhere. They're in business offices, they're in our schools, they're in nursing homes, they're in, people's home, home health, and there's travel nursing, and yeah, there's just nursing everywhere. Every type of place you can think of, nurses can work there. And not just being like direct touching on a patient, on a person, but nurses are in offices and, computer informatics, they do a lot. So when I was in nursing school, since I was going for an RN, my school had all of our training in our clinical sites in hospitals. That's where 90% of our training occurred, was in hospitals. And when you're in the classroom, I've noticed that a lot of the other students, they would kind of snicker or just say like they didn't want to be in a nursing home, they didn't want to work, like with old people or things like that, that they wanted to be in the emergency departments or in the ICU or in the operating room or NICU with like the little babies or mother baby, labor and delivery, that sort of thing. But nobody really talked about like, working in a nursing home. I guess because in a lot of nursing homes, it's not very skilled, like you skilled meaning like you're not doing IVs, you may not have NG tubes, you may not have those sorts of things, so you won't have like gunshot victims, or you won't have those really high energy dramatic situations. So unfortunately, nursing homes kind of got a stigma on them where that's not like real nursing. Like, it's not, the dramatic, what you see on TV type of nursing. And unfortunately, even me, I kind of thought that too. Like, I really did not want to be in no nursing home. When I got into nursing, my passion has always been the very, very, very sick. Like, I want to save lives, So that was more for me why I didn't really want to go into a nursing home, was because I wanted to save lives. In a nursing home, you really not saving them so much as you're just trying to make them comfortable while they're dying. And so yeah, so I did not want to be there. I only wanted to be in hospital. And it's crazy because as school kind of went on, it was kind of like nursing homes were talked down on, and just like the bottom of the barrel, like they were like Walmart, you know, they were just low class, I guess. If you're gonna be a nurse in a nursing home, like, that's not real nursing. And yeah, so when I graduated in 2011, I graduated with my RN, graduated with honors. I applied for the hospitals. We have 3 major ones in my area, and I applied for all 3. And all 3 rejected me. All 3. I didn't even get an interview. It didn't matter about my references from my schools and from hospitals and my honors. It did not matter. All 3 hospitals told me at that time that they were all, I guess they were all trying to become magnet hospitals or something, where all their nurses had bachelor's degrees. And so that was what they told me, like, we're just gonna go with somebody, with a little bit more experience, or a little more schooling. We prefer if you have a bachelor's. And so I was crushed and devastated, because when I was in school during that time, never did a instructor tell me that a bachelor's is preferred. And they probably didn't tell me that because that college did not offer bachelor's, and they probably didn't want their students dropping out and going to one that did, because I probably would have done that. But yeah, they never told us that a bachelor's was like mandatory in order to get into a hospital. So I was very devastated. I was very sad when I found out that I couldn't, go into the hospital. So I applied for like clinics, because I was like, okay, well, that's like my second choice. Like I'll do a clinic. Hold on a second. I can hear my daughter. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Yes. So, I applied for clinics because I was like, okay, well, that could be my second option. If I can get into a hospital, I'll do a clinic. That's pretty fast paced. So no clinics called me back either. So I was down to nursing homes, and I will admit, at that time in 2011, I was extremely sad about that. I was very sad. I was very depressed. Yeah, I just felt really, really bad. And some of my classmates were just a couple. They had already been working in the hospital as like CNAs, and so they got hired in as RNs. And I admit, I was a little green. I was a little green with the envy, I felt a little jealous, because my grades were better. Just saying, not trying to, but they were better, and I was just kind of disappointed. Like, oh, okay, so it doesn't matter about how well you do in school. Like, they don't care. It just matters more about who you know. But that's horrible. So, I applied to nursing homes, and got an interview for one, got hired for one, and even though I was happy to have a job and to be able to do, some of the nursing that I had learned, I'll be honest, I was depressed and I was really sad, and it was hard being hired into a job where you have zero passion. Like, I maybe like a 10% passion, because I knew that at least I would be working with people, and I chose to go into what we call the health center, where the sickest of the sick them go, because I feel like, okay, this is like as close to ICU as I can get. But yeah, I was very sad, and because I had that idea that, nursing home nursing isn't real nursing, it just felt like, I don't know, I was just very embarrassed. I was just very sad. I felt overqualified, I guess you could say. And honestly, I was overqualified. I had been trained in ICU. I had been given all this training for Foley catheters and IVs and NG tubes, and, all this other type of nursing skills that I had, and I was not able to use them. We just did not have those type of patients there. And so, yeah, I guess in a way I was overqualified, but what I learned was that nursing home nursing is real nursing. Yes, it is, 1,000%. It is difficult, it is hard, and it's real. So even though I wasn't able to use like those kind of technical skills, like with my hands, like with machines and stuff, you have to use your critical thinking. You see patients with multiple diseases, and you see the progression and how it progresses to worse. In the hospital, sometimes we see the patients like in the beginning of their disease, once they are starting to get the CHF, congestive heart failure, or diabetes, or things like that, you see it more like beginning, middle. But me working with in a nursing home and with geriatrics, with older people, I was able to see that disease towards like the middle all the way up until death. I was able to see really how it progresses, and how diabetes can lead to death, and how CHF leads to death, how cancer leads to death. um, yeah, all of that. Lung disease leads to death. So I was able to see all that. And I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I was able to see all that. And it really did help. It helped me in my profession, because now I'm able to see, I'm able to recognize something in my patients, and I'm able to see like, okay, they're not doing so good, and I know better now when to notify doctors. Also being in the nursing home, you have a lot of patients. I had 45 all the way up to over 90 patients sometime, if I had to run both floors myself. It's a lot, and you're busy all day. You're constantly moving, you're constantly doing something. With 45 patients, there's always going to be somebody who needs you. It's literally, once you get done with one person, you have to go and take care of somebody else. So also in the nursing home, I got very comfortable with medications. Some of my patients, on just one shift, I could give them 15 to 20 pills just on one shift. So I got very comfortable with medications and knowing what these meds are for, and how they affect the patient. And yeah, also a lot of wound care. Unfortunately, you get geriatrics who get pressure ulcers. If they can't move a lot, or if they, you know, their skin is very weak, very fragile, and so you get a lot of tears, and yeah, a lot of pressure ulcers, a lot of wounds. So I was able to see a lot of that. So even though in the nursing home, in some nursing homes, more unskilled nursing homes, because they're all skilled, but unskilled nursing homes, even though you may not be given IVs, or dealing with patients with NG tubes, or wound bags, or chest line, central lines, AV line, all this stuff. Even though you're not able to like do that kind of stuff, nursing is so big, you will be doing plenty. So yeah, I just want to make this video just, so that for people who think that working in a nursing home is not real nursing, yes it is, and 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 another thing, I hope I don't sound too offended, but my feelings were hurt, because when I would talk to people and they would be like, oh, what do you do? And I said, I'm a registered nurse. The first thing, what hospital do you work at? And it's like, I don't work at a hospital. And then when you tell them, oh, I work at a long-term care facility, they're usually just like, oh, okay, nice, that's nice. And that kind of sucks, because I knew that I was doing a lot, and I knew that I was busy, and I was learning a lot, and it's hard, especially when you're dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's patients. I'm going to make a whole nother video on how to deal with those type of patients. But it was really hard when you could just see it in their expression, how they answered, that, they didn't really think that what you were doing was that big of a deal. And that sucks, because it is. And I'm glad that I got my experience in long-term care, because now I've been humbled, and now I can see, like, no sis, long-term care is hard. It's very hard. Having all those patients is very hard. It can be just as hard as working in a hospital, just the same level of stress as being in a hospital. And those nurses who work in long-term care, they are real nurses, and they are doing real nursing. They really are. So yeah, I just want to kind of change the stigma on that, if I could, just offer my 2 little cents. And yeah, next time you meet a nurse, just say, where do you work? Don't say, what hospital do you work in? Because you may not work in a hospital. Not all nurses work in hospitals. You know, there's plenty of other places for us to be, and all the work is the same. And you know, we're using different parts of our skills that we learned, but it's all real nursing, and it's all valuable, and it's all important, and it is all needed. So now that I'm done preaching, thank you guys for watching my video, and yeah, I will be back to make more. All right, bye.